delivering quality education, expanding access to learning. The official TV-based instruction of Tagum City. This is Tagum City Division's DepEd TV. Tara na!
Good day, everyone! Welcome to another cool and fun episode of Learning Mathematics while staying at home. Here at Salida La Filipina TV, the official TV-based instruction of La Filipina National High School. In the service of DepEd Tagum City, I am Teacher Edward P. Moring, your teacher broadcaster for today. We are now in Quarter 4, Module 6 in Mathematics 10. Your tasks today are: illustrate the measure of position, particularly the percentiles for grouped data. Calculate percentiles from a given set of grouped data. And interpret results on the percentiles for grouped data. Before we begin, may I remind you about some rules to follow as we go through the discussion. First, prepare any sheet of paper, your ball pen, and a calculator. Second, make sure that you are seated in a comfortable seat. Third, listen to the discussion well. Fourth, participate in the assessment by writing your answer in the comment section or by sending them to your respective subject teachers. And last, share this link for others to also learn from this discussion. Are you now ready? Please watch this video.
Modular offline modality, i-upload sa advisor o subject teachers ang soft copy sa module sa duha ka subjects na ansiran sa Facebook group page na buhaton sa advisors sa adlaw na Domingo bago pa magsugod ang duha ka semana. Pwede na ma-download sa estudyante ug sugdan sab pag-answer ang activities. Pagkahuman ma-complete sulod sa duha ka semana, pwede na i-submit sa subject teachers pinaagi sa private message sa Facebook. Kung naay pangutana o kalibog samtang naga-answer, pwede ra mo text or mo PM sa subject teachers para matabangan. Naapod group chat para sa taga-section kung diin maghatag ang advisor sa mga instruction. Para sa online modality, sundon gihapon ang pamaagi sa modular offline modality. Ang kalahian lang, kay adunay schedule ang bawat subject na 1 hour kada semana para sa online interaction pinaagi sa Zoom. Usa ka subject ang i-take sa mga bata taga usa ka semana. Week 1, Filipino. Week 2, English. Week 3, Mathematics. Week 4, Science. Week 5, Araling Panlipunan. Week 6, ESP. Week 7, Journalism. And Week 8, MAPE. Para sa dugang pangutana, pwede na i-contact ning mga numeruha.
COVID-19 pandemic has brought extraordinary challenges and has affected the educational system in the country, and no one knows when it will end. The government is presently implementing plans and procedures on how to contain the virus, but the infections are still continuously rising. In the educational context, to sustain and provide quality education, DepEd Tagum City has taken into consideration the new normal education with its plans and implementation. By watching the previous video, I hope that you, my dear learners, would realize how important as of now to embrace the new normal education. With the different learning modalities that you have, online, printed modular, or whatever it is, learning must continue. Why am I telling you this? Because I know it has something to do with our lesson today. Now, I have here the frequency distribution table that shows the number of junior high school students of the 76 sections of La Filitina National High School who chose modular printed as their learning modality. Can you determine the 35th percentile of the given set of data? How about its 78th percentile? I know you already have the background about quartiles and deciles of a group data. But to help us answer those questions, let us first unlock the following difficult words. The measure of position are used to describe or locate the position of a specific data value within the given set of data. Group data means a set of data that has been classified or has been organized into groups from the raw data. The percentiles are the 99 score points that divide a distribution into 100 equal parts so that each part represents the data set. It is used to characterize values according to the percentage below them. It is denoted as P sub 1, P sub 2, P sub 3, until P sub 99. They are also called the first percentile, second percentile, third percentile, up to the 99th percentile. They determine the value for 1%, 2%, 3%, up to the 99% of the data. Percentiles are computed in the same way that the quartiles and deciles are calculated. Now, let us see how these three measures of position have been related to each other. Can you see the big boxes or the broken line that divides the distribution into 4 equal parts? Yes, they are called quartiles. Observe that in this illustration, we can see equivalent values of each measure of position. For example, we have the value of the first quartile, which is equal to the value of the 2.5th decile and the value of the 25th percentile. Also, the second quartile has an equal value with the 5th decile and the 50th percentile. The same with what happened with the values of the third quartile, 7.5th decile, and the 75th percentile. I hope you won't get confused about that. Alright, moving on to our main topic, which is about the percentiles for grouped data. Please take note of the following formulae that are very useful in solving problems involving percentiles. First, to calculate the position of the percentile, we use this formula where k is any number from 1 to 99, depending on the required percentile to be calculated, and n as the total frequency. Note that the divisor is 100 because we divided the whole distribution into 100 equal parts. Second, to solve for the value of the required percentile, we use this formula where LB is the lower boundary of the class interval. See F sub B as the cumulative frequency before the class interval. F sub B sub K as the frequency of the class interval, and I as the class width or the size of the class interval. Now, let us consider this example. The frequency distribution table shows the number of junior high school students of the 76 sections of La Filipina National High School who chose modular printed as learning modality. Find the 35th percentile using the given formula. But before that, let us complete first the distribution table by adding 2 columns for lower boundary and less than cumulative frequency. To solve for the lower boundary, subtract 0.5 from the smallest score per class interval. As you can see in the first row, the lowest score is 0. So 0 minus 0.5 is equal to negative 0.5. For the second row, the lowest score is 10. So we have 10 minus 0.5, and that is equal to 9.5. While the lowest score in the third row is 20, so we have 20 minus 0.5, and the result is 19.5. Now, doing the same pattern with the succeeding rows, so we got 29.5 and 39.5. To determine the cumulative frequency of the first row, copy the frequency of the first row, which is 3. To get the second row, add the cumulative frequency of the first row, which is 3, and the frequency of the second row, which is 2. So we have 3 plus 2 equals 5. To get the third row, add the cumulative frequency of the second row, which is 5, and the frequency of the third row, which is 12. So we have 5 plus 12 equals 17. Now do the same with the succeeding rows. So we have 17 plus 28 equals 45. And lastly, 45 plus 31 equals 76. Good job! We can now solve for the 35th percentile, or P sub 35. And here are the following steps. Step 1. Find the position of P sub 35. Given the value of n, which is 76, and the value of k, which is equal to 35, use the formula and substitute the values of k and n. So we have 35 times 76 over 100. Multiply 35 and 76, and the result is 2,660. Divide 2,660 by 100, and that results to 26.6, meaning P sub 35 is in the 26.6 position. Step 2. Locate the class interval where P sub 35 equals 26.6 is contained. Using the less than cumulative frequency, we can add another column to locate the 26.6 value. As you can see, 26.6 is between the 18th and the 45th values. This means that the 18th to 45th values belong to the class interval 30 to 39. And so, the 26.6 also belongs to the class interval 30 to 39. And therefore, P sub 35 is in the class interval of 30 to 39. Step 3. Identify the necessary values to be substituted in the formula. So we have LB, or the lower boundary of the class interval, 30 to 39 is 29.5. K is 35 since we are looking for the 35th percentile. N is 76 because there are 76 sections. CF sub B, or the cumulative frequency before the class interval 30 to 39, is 17. F sub B sub K, or the frequency in the class interval 30 to 39, is 28. I, or the class width or the size of the class interval, is 10, because from 30 to 39, we have 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, and 39. Step 4. Solve for the value of P sub 35 using the formula. So we have P sub 35 is equal to 29.5 plus the quantity 35 times 76 over 100 minus 17 all over 28 times 10. First, we multiply 35 and 76 and divide the result by 100. So we got 26.6. Now subtract 26.6 by 17 and the result is 9.6. Now, 9.6 divided by 28 is 0.343. Multiply 0.343 by 10 and the result is 3.43. And lastly, add 3.43 to 29.5 and the result is 32.93. Therefore, P sub 35 is 32.93. Step 5. State your conclusion and interpretation. Therefore, 35% of the sections of junior high school of La Filipina National High School have students less than or equal to 32.93 who choose modular printed as learning modality. Now let us try another example. Using the same frequency distribution table on the number of junior high school students of the 76 sections of La Filipina National High School who choose modular printed as learning modality. Find the 78th percentile. Step 1. Find the position of P sub 78. Given the value of N, which is 76, and the value of K, which is equal to 78. Use the formula and substitute the values of K and N. So we have 78 times 76 over 100. Multiply 78 and 76 and the result is 5,928. Divide 5,928 by 100 and that results to 59.28, meaning P sub 78 is in the 59.28 position. Step 2. Locate the class interval where P sub 78 equals 59.28 is contained. As you can see, 59.28 is between the 46th and the 76th values. This means that the 46th to 76th values belong to the class interval 40 to 49. And so, the 59.28 also belongs to the class interval 40 to 49. Therefore, P sub 78 is in the class interval 40 to 49. Step 3. Identify the necessary values to be substituted in the formula. So we have Lower boundary of the class interval 40 to 49 is 39.5. K is equal to 78 since we are looking for the 78th percentile. N is equal to 76 because there are 76 sections. CF sub B, or the cumulative frequency before the class interval 40 to 49, is 45. F sub B sub K, or the frequency of the class interval 40 to 49, is 31. I, the class width or the size of the class interval, is 10. Step 4. Solve for the value of P sub 78 using the formula. So we have P sub 78 is equal to 39.5 plus the quantity 78 times 76 over 100 minus 45 all over 31 times 10. First, we multiply 78 and 76 and divide the result by 100. So we got 59.28. Now subtract 59.28 by 45 and the result is 14.28. Now 14.28 divided by 31 is 0.461. Multiply 0.461 by 10 and the result is 4.61. Lastly, add 4.61 to 39.5 and the result is 44.11. Therefore, P sub 78 is 44.11. Alright, I know you have learned something from the discussion, and I would like you to remember the following steps in solving problems involving percentiles. For the preliminaries, complete the table by adding 2 columns for lower boundary and less than cumulative frequency. Then, step 1, find the position of the percentile. Step 2, find the class interval where the P sub K point is contained. Step 3, identify the necessary values to be substituted in the formula. Step 4, solve for the value of the required percentile. And step 5, state your conclusion or interpretation. Now it's time to check your understanding. Using the same frequency distribution table on the number of junior high school students of the 76 sections of La Filipina National High School who choose modular printed as learning modality, find the following. Number 1, the position of P sub 50. Number 2, the class interval. Number 3, frequency. Number 4, lower boundary where P sub 50 is contained. And number 5, the value of P sub 50. You are given 3 minutes to answer. And if you hear the sound, meaning time is up. Are you now ready? Your time starts now. Alright, time is up. Let us now check your answers together. For number 1, we have p sub 50 is in the 38th position. Number 2, glass interval is equal to 30 to 39. Number 3, frequency is equal to 28. Number 4, lower boundary is equal to 29.5. And number 5, the value of p sub 50 is equal to 37. Therefore, 50% of the sections of Junior High School of La Filipina National High School have less than or equal to 37 number of students who choose modular printed as learning modality. How many correct answers did you get? If you got 5 out of 5, congratulations! But if you got lower than 5, study harder. And that ends our 8th math episode of the Salida La Filipina TV. Once again, I am teacher Edward Pumaring saying, if math is hard and so is life, then get over it. Have a good time. Bye-bye.
Edukasyon, abot kamay, salita ng Pilipina, ang tagagabay sa tagumpay.
Mga kabataan, huwag panghinaan. Salida La Filipina ay bigyan daan. Ito ay magbibigay ng kaalaman. TV naman ngayon ang inyong paaralan. Mahirap man ang inyong sitwasyon, tayo ay magtulungan para sa edukasyon. Bawat isa ay mayroong misyon, matutong mabuti, maging inspirasyon.
Salita ng Pilipina, ang iyong pangarap ay kickstart. Salita ng Pilipina, ang karunungan ay makakamtan. Salita ng Pilipina, ang edukasyon, abot kamay. Salita ng Pilipina.